There are diagnostic codes. Psychologists can use the biofeedback if they can diagnose anxiety and depression. And so they can use this. I can use the codes that are related to speech and language, and especially with children, we'll get situations where children have auditory processing disorders or any kind of language disorders. If I can find that what I see fits a diagnostic code, then I can put that down. Sometimes the insurance will pay for it. If you mention biofeedback, the insurance still kind of gets a
What
little
about neurofeedback?
Oh, that spooks them even worse.
Why?
Oh, I don't know. Because they still consider it experimental, and they don't recognize it as the tool that it absolutely...
Even though the government has used this...
Oh, the government is using it constantly. They're using it with pilots. They're using it with... this Dr. Sturman has a whole program with pilots, you know, military and stuff like that. And it's, you know, it's been a terrific part of the military program that's
How
going
did you
on.
become interested in this?
It was an accident.
Was it?
Yeah. My sister lives in California, and I was visiting her. And she knows the people who began the affiliation I am now working with. And she's an educational therapist. So somehow or other she got involved and saw, you know, knew them. They were right, close neighbors. Sent her children that she was having trouble with for the, for the neurofeedback training. And one speech therapist called my sister and said, "What are you doing to this child? Her language is so much better than it has ever been."
Amazing.
And so my sister said, "Wow, okay," you know, and she told me about it. And I thought, well, okay, that sounds super, you know, that's really great. So when I went to visit her, she said, "You've got to try it." And I went. And my sister's not the kind of person that just does something like one time. I mean, I went about 4 times within a week. You know? She had me going. And at the end of that last session, it was like a cartoon, you know, where you see the light bulb flash.
Right.
And I suddenly could feel a whole difference. It wasn't a lot, but it was just enough to let me know that something
profound
was coming.
had occurred.
Right.
Interesting.
And so I thought, okay, I'll come back to Chicago.
Does it feel like a reawakening for the brain? Does it feel, or like a shift to center, away from the left or the right?
I didn't experience that. I experienced just a calmness, I guess, an ability to speak more fluently. I was having a lot of trouble. I was probably experiencing a lot of anxiety that I didn't even recognize.
Right, that we suppress and kind of step on.
And so suddenly I was feeling that I could express myself. I could talk and say what I wanted to say and not have to worry that I wasn't going to find the words that I wanted to say. And so for me it was just finding that I could do it. And then...
But that's really a major shift.
Yeah.
It really is. I mean, so many people are, you know, and I was, when I was younger, very shy about speaking in public and very uncertain of the right things to say. And it was years of practicing the right thing to say after I said the wrong thing, you know, when I'm driving in the car and I'm back in my room or whatever, where I became a good speaker, you know, or a better speaker. But many people are plagued by that, and they're terrified of public speaking.
Exactly. That's the most common fear.
But is it? Well, for you to walk away after 4 days and feel, you know, wow, this has made a difference is really actually very fast.
It really was. Mostly people do respond within the first 10 sessions. And if they have not responded, you know, then that's time to start looking to see if we can do something a little bit different for them.
So if people are going through a lot of stress, would it be beneficial for them just to like calm them down, just to center them?
Absolutely. I have a young boy right now that I'm working with, and he is so vulnerable to stress. I mean, it's just an amazing thing to see. He walks into my office in this hyper state. I mean, high-pitched voice, just, you know,
Tweaked.
just,
Yeah.
oh, you can feel, you know.
The vibrations like that. Yeah.
And then when he walks out, you know, he's in this whole other place. Yesterday I was wearing a necklace, and I thought he was really angry with me. He told me he hated my office, and he just didn't have anything good to say. And as he's walking out, he turns around and he says, "I really like your necklace," you know.
It's a big deal.
Yeah. And then we were sitting and actually having a conversation because I had been able to reduce that stress that he had been experiencing. And
Was this his first session?
No, probably about his 10th.
Okay.
Yeah, so
Is
we're
he a
hoping
little
right
guy?
now. I'm sorry?
Is he a little guy?
No, he's 15. He's a big guy. I'm
you're
kind of
saying-
afraid of him at
Yeah,
times when he's in
yeah.
his angry mood, you know?
Yeah.
But I know that once he picks up out of the chair, he's going to be in a whole different place.
How long does that position hold for him?
Well, as I said, it's about 10 sessions.
Once a week?
Twice a week.
Oh, twice a week.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
His mom tells me it seems to hold. They have a problem when they have to come like 2 days in a row, like Monday, Tuesday, or something like that. So then there's a whole 6 days, or, you know, where he's not getting any help. In his case, I would love it if he could come like Tuesday, Friday, Monday, you know,
Right,
Thursday,
right.
something like that. But there's a constraint on time for that, so he can't.
So can a successful outcome be predicted, do you think? What percentage of the time?
I would think, from my own caseload and from other information,
Experience,
that
yeah.
somewhere around 85, 90% of
That's
people.
high.
Yeah, it's a pretty high
It's very
percentage.
high. Interesting.
Yeah.
That's
And
excellent.
people don't always recognize that they've made changes. I had a gentleman who came in for an evaluation, and he couldn't look at me. I mean, I'm sitting over there, and he's sitting here, and his eyes are down all the time, and he basically stuttered, could not produce proper speech.
So
you
it
know.
helps with stuttering?
In some cases, yes.
Wow.
So he came and he did 20 sessions with me, and at the end of 20, he says, "This hasn't helped me." And he's standing there looking me in the eye, not stuttering, being very assertive, and saying to me, "This hasn't helped me one bit."
Without one stutter.
Without anything, you know. And so my daughter was working with me at the time, and we kind of just looked at each other. What can we tell him? He just didn't see it. He didn't
Well, it
recognize.
probably would be very good to videotape
I
people
know,
before and after.
I know. I've been planning that, to have a video camera in the corner of my, of the treatment room.
Sure, because people forget from whence they came.
Right,
They really
exactly.
do. I mean, I do questionnaires, in the office, and it's like, they're like, "Oh, yeah, I forgot I had that. Oh, I
Right.
forgot I had that, too."
Right.
50 questions later, I forgot I had that. So,
Yes,
so
I have the
people
same
don't remember.
experience. Right.
Their lives are pretty crazy and busy, but I would definitely
I know.
videotape.
That is something that I've thought about. I thought maybe I'd get one of those surveillance cameras that keep going back and forth.
Sweep, yeah. That's
Sweep.
Wow. So, how does the medical profession really embrace this? Do certain specters of the medical profession endorse it, and are they curious about it? Are they interested in using it?
Not frequently.
No.
Psychologists seem to be more interested in it. And I think the majority of people who are using the neurofeedback are psychologists.
Okay.
Medical practitioners, medical doctors are still under the haze of it being experimental. They're not too sure, they hate to recommend something. They don't know a lot about it. They know medicine, and that's where their training is, and so they're comfortable with medicine. In fact, they don't recommend too much alternative therapies in any way.
Right.
So,
So it's considered cutting edge by
it still
some
is.
people.
It still is.
Yeah.
It's,
And what's your caseload like? I mean, honestly, have you had, thousands of people come through your door, and so you really see the benefits?
I think that I've probably had 1,000 people in the 8 years that I've been. It was slow in the beginning.
Sure.
You know.
Well, Chicago was still doing martinis and
Yeah.
hot dogs, so.
Yeah.
You know.
But I think somewhere along that line, and I still keep up with a lot of people who have come.
They
the
stay in
past.
touch.
People are referring more frequently, and so that's been good.
Well, it's interesting because I have a little boy right now who he has been diagnosed with Downs. But I'll tell you what, he's diagnosed with autism, sorry, and he's extremely high functioning. The mother took him off of standard food and put him on organic, and she saw probably a 20% increase in his focus and his
great.
hyperactivity. When he first came into my office, he was like a jumping jelly bean. He was all over the place. And then we put him on essential oils and more protein because all he ate was McDonald's and French fries and Cokes and French fries and Cokes. Okay. And then when she could, she'd get organic food in him at home. I'll tell you what, in about a month's time, this kid was, I'd say, 60% improved just with that.
Absolutely.
So neurofeedback would be wonderful for a child like this.
There have been studies that have shown that neurofeedback is probably a treatment of choice for autistic situations.
Really?
Yeah. Apparently, I don't know if everybody, you know, if everybody has the same idea of what is autism and what is
Right.
not, but to those of us who've been doing the neurofeedback, we're pretty much aware of the fact that in autism, the brain waves are just firing up constantly. They're just, you know, and so sounds are louder. Things that they see
Highly
are
stimulated.
just, you know, too vivid for them. So they're highly, highly stimulated, and we try to calm this down. And once we do, they are functioning in a whole better place.
Do you see children actually reversing?
Yeah, as a matter of fact, there's a video that I bought that is a mother who became trained herself because of her autistic son. And this video is little vignettes of this child's
His development.
And the
process.
first introduction to him is in the hospital room when he's 4 years old. His mom just had a brand new baby. She's holding the baby, and the dad is on her, but she is sitting there with this expression of real sadness because in the background is her 4-year-old just jibbery jabbery, just not stopping at all, just constant sounds. And so she trained.
You have to wrap it up, honey.
Okay, she trained, and it kept taking these vignettes. And at the end, he and his sister were singing songs in the car on a trip that they were taking.
That's wonderful.
So,
well, we'll be back. Actually, we have another show for you with Ann, so please tune in next week as well. We have some great information on neuro or biofeedback. And Ann, thank you once again for being with us. It was a pleasure having
it's a pleasure
you.
to be here.
Until next week, please take good care of your health. I'm Deborah Arneson, bringing you Health Quest. Bye-bye. That was great.